Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Namaskaram. Namaskaram to everyone.
காவேரி தாயே உந்தன் மடி குழந்தனார் என் வாழ்க்கைக்கும் முக்திக்கும் வழியனவள் நீயே நீயே. என் உயிர் மலர்ச்சிக்கு மூலமானவளும் நீயே தாயே. என் உயிர் மலர்ச்சிக்கு மூலமானவளும் நீயே தாயே. காவேரி தாயே உசுரு உனக்கு அர்ப்பணிப்பேனே. காவேரி தாயே உசுரு உனக்கு அர்ப்பணிப்பேனே. தாய் உன்னையே எட்டி உதைச்ச முடன்னா, இன்னும் பிறக்காத உயிருக்கும் ஆபத்தை தந்தவன்னா. என் முட்டாள்தனத்தை மன்னிக்க வேணும் நீயே தாயே. என் முட்டாள்தனத்தை மன்னிக்க வேணும் நீயே தாயே. காவேரி தாயே உசுர உனக்கு அர்ப்பணிப்பேனே. காவேரி தாயே உசுர உனக்கு அர்ப்பணிப்பேனே. என் நாடி நரம்புல ஓடுற ரத்தம் நீதான் தாயே. என் உயிருக்கு மூலமானவளும் நீயே தாயே. காவேரி தாயே அர்ப்பணிப்பேன் உசுரத்தா உனக்கு. காவேரி தாயே அர்ப்பணிப்பேன் உசுரத்தா. காவேரி தாயே உசுர உனக்கு அர்ப்பணிப்பேனே. காவேரி தாயே உசுர உனக்கு அர்ப்பணிப்பேனே. ஓ 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 காவேரி தாயே என் உசுர உனக்கு அர்ப்பணிப்பேனே.
Wow. Our Nadiviras or our volunteers who stood up for river rejuvenation have been striving hard during this pandemic times, traveling village to village, This is the time we must start the production of saplings. Well, the 35 or now 37 nurseries, I think, are in full function, but that's not going to fulfill our requirement for the 2021 plantations to happen. Everybody must understand that these are not just plantations planted in arid lands. This is happening in farmers' lands, private lands. So the survival rate is over 90% because there is a subsidy from the government which we got got sanctioned in the last 2 years, which is growth related. Only if the tree is growing, they will get the subsidy. So these efforts have not slackened because of the pandemic. A few of our brahmacharis who were out there in this campaign in Karnataka, well, got infected and we had to start a small seclusion hospital kind of clinic kind of thing in Mysore, and now they're back on their feet and again in action. Because this is the timing. We take 8 to 9 months to make the saplings. Generally, commercial farms take 3 to 4 months to make the same sapling. And that is the world of difference. That the saplings need to come up without nematode nodules in its root system, which will ensure the long-term well-being of the tree and the quality of the tree in terms of its timber and fruit and whatever else it produces. All this is determined by how you raise the saplings. That is one reason why we are creating our own nurseries, because if you buy a lush-looking sapling which is grown quickly because of chemical fertilizers, after 4 or 5 years, the farmer will pay the price for having planted that kind of sapling which may not produce what you want it to produce. Anyway, this week has also been about World Soil Day. I know I've said this many times, but we want to repeat this again. More than 85% of life forms on this planet, from microbes to worms to insects to birds to animals to human beings and plants and trees and every other vegetation on the planet, is sustained by an average of 39 inches of topsoil. And that is in grave danger right now. Across the world, many studies show that we have topsoil for approximately another 40 to 60 years of agriculture. After that, we don't have the soil to produce the food. It is estimated that by 2035, the food production in the world will drop by 12%. These are not just numbers. As it is, we are producing more food than this 7.6 billion people can consume, much more. In spite of that, 1/3 of the human population is malnourished and hungry. If you produce 12% less than what we actually need, you can imagine what suffering we will unfold in the world. So, keeping the soil healthy is the most important thing that this generation has to do. And Kaveri calling is an important demonstration, a large-scale demonstration of this. So, I once again beseech you, I'm not here to ask you for donations, but one sapling costs approximately 65 to 70 cents, if I'm right, the conversion. At least one sapling a month, at least one sapling a month, everybody can, hello? 70 cents? 70 cents fall out of your pocket, many of you can't bend down and pick it up. Yes. Well, can I torture you with a poem? It's called The Fall Guy. No, I'm not talking about myself. I am, but this time it's not about me. Anyway, thanks to our Lakota brothers and sisters who wove this rug for me and they're keeping me warm. Lot of children sitting there, out there in the frost. It's called The Fall Guy. As snowflakes descend gently to put much life to much needed rest, as snowflakes descend gently to put much life to much needed rest, a layer of fallen leaf begins to hatch a secret sauce under the cover of the white blanket to regenerate life for a fresh start. A layer of leaf begins to hatch a secret sauce under the cover of the white blanket to regenerate life for a fresh start. The falling of the leaf, if you thought was a pity, was only playing the fall guy to become nourishment to rise to the pinnacle of the treetops scraping the skies. The falling of the leaf, if you thought was a pity, was only playing the fall guy to become nourishment to rise to the pinnacle of treetops scraping the skies. We had a certain amount of snow out here last week. Well, the year 2020 slipping away, December has come. 2020 as a year just came in quietly like any other year. But by the second month, it started showing its face. And since then you've been covering your face. Unlike wars, natural calamities, famines, year 2020 has been haranguing human beings like nothing in recent times. Invisible. Invisible to the eye, doesn't seem to cause any problem around us, but still killing over 1.5 million people. And if you didn't cover your face, those numbers would multiply in a big way. Many things have happened. Lives and livelihoods have been lost. The way we relate to each other, smiles have gone out of the world. Hello? Those unsmiling ones, you are the only ones benefiting from this mask. Now we don't know in what state you are. We have to look deep into your eyes to figure out So, I think unsmiling faces are beginning to become happy because nobody can see. So many things we thought, people thought if they clap their hands, it'll go away. If you bang the plates, it will go away. If you light lamps and candles, it'll go away. We made rules, mask up or pay up. Not much result, not as expected at least. Well, we said that, many things people are doing around the world. Prayers, chantings, looking up, looking down. Not yielding much result. There is more alcohol in people's hands than in their gut these days. Must be causing a health revolution. Yes Alcohol does not mean drinking anymore. Alcohol means because even I'm calling for alcohol many times, so not for consumption, but how human beings transact is going through a serious change. Well, handshakes and hugs are gone. Indians are happy. Indians are happy Many aspects of our life will definitely be irrevocably changed. Now the whole world is waiting, holding its breath for the magic wand solution of the vaccine. Well, the Russia came up with Sputnik. Well, America did not respond with an Apollo. Instead, two private companies came up with a two-pronged attack. Very sharp teeth, both of them, because one thing is it's very expensive and very difficult to store and transport because of the temperature requirements. You need to be at minus 70 degrees Celsius. That's not easy to manage. It's going to be super expensive how we store and transport this vaccine. India came up with a cheaper option which can also be transported at a much higher temperature. So what's the hitch? The hitch is, it's a two-stage vaccine that you have to take one today and after 30 days another one, otherwise it will not work. Get 1 billion people to go for 2 pricks in a month's time, oh, that's going to be a lot of effort. That's not going to be easy at all. So vaccine is not really a magic wand. It could contain things, definitely will contain, but you can't wish it away. So year 2020 will definitely leave an indelible mark on the minds of this generation of people. They're not going to forget it. I don't think it will let us forget it so easily. So how we do things, how we relate to people, how we eat and transact in the world, everything has already changed, will further change. Even I have not traveled for months on end. That's a change. For the first time in the last 40 years, I have the pleasure of picking my clothes off a wardrobe. Always I lived off a suitcase. So, we can either complain or adapt, or create new situations, new possibilities. This is a choice human beings have. But every other creature seems to be happier than before. At least for their sake, we must celebrate some. Hello? Because they all seem to be happy. People are saying in big cities that the air is cleaner, the sky is blue. It always was, but city people were in a cloud. Either industrial smoke, automobile smoke, or cigarette smoke, or if you're from California, more potent smoke. One way or the other, if the machines don't smoke us, we'll do it ourselves. I am not trying to tell you what to do and what not to do, but I think if you have not already learnt the lessons of 2020 as to what to do and what not to do, early 2021 is going to teach you that. United States is right now going through its third wave, and the worst one. We are talking less about it because we've had elections. We do elections and we still don't know. We're busy with that, political stuff. And of course, there's been Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming. This is the first time really, all this, whatever gifts coming with Santa Claus or, some wild animal bringing things for you. For the first time, I think it's going to work because that wild animal is called Amazon right now. It's definitely growing and those of you who only walked in shopping malls, you have to find other places to walk. Hello? If you must carry a bag to feel complete, well, there are still rocks you can carry because you must feel heavy in the shoulder to feel satisfied. Hello? So, many adaptations you'll have to do. Well, people are busy always trying to judge whether this is good or bad. Nothing has ever been good or bad. In every situation, those who are conscious and who know how to respond to a given situation thrive. Those who refuse to respond to the realities of one's existence will suffer. Now, as if the pandemic, the virus pandemic was not good enough, people are predicting mental pandemic, suicide pandemic. In this year, in Japan, more people have committed suicide than the number of people who died of this virus. If the virus doesn't succeed, we will do it ourselves. So, this in many ways exposes how human beings are living. They are saying in UK, between the ages of 16 and 24, 4 out of every 10 in that population, in that age group population, cause physical harm to themselves at least once a month or so. They want to pull their hair, they want to cut their hands, they want to bang their heads on the wall. See, this is not entertainment. Why I'm using the word entertainment is because anywhere you watch a television or you see the movies, everywhere it is being projected like this. The best way to handle your emotions is punch somebody if you get. You find somebody weaker than you, punch them. Otherwise, at least punch a glass pane or a mirror, or if you're stupid, punch a wall or a rock. Or scream and yell and roll around and throw things at everybody or nobody. Hello, this is becoming the standard way of handling emotions. Huh? All of you doing this at home? At least the crockery industry must be doing well. In our cultures, right from our childhood, if we get angry and something, first thing was just shut up and sit down. If you're angry, it's your business, all right? You deal with it. Don't give it to anybody else, just shut up and sit down there. Yes, if you get angry, at least this much you must do. You have no business to get angry because by being angry, you cause more damage to yourself than anybody else most of the time, unless you're working in Hollywood. Generally, most human beings cause more damage to themselves than to anybody else when they're angry. Most human beings. Only a few get to damage other people. So do I have a right to damage myself? After all, it's my life. Well, you need to understand your life is not your life. For you to be who you are right now, well, leaving the nature alone, to feed you, to clothe you, to keep you alive, to make you go here to there, thousands and thousands of people have worked to bring you up as a full-grown adult, yes or no? Huh? Somebody has to grow the food, somebody has to spin the thread, somebody has to weave the clothing, somebody has to make the various other services for you. So do you have a right to simply obliterate yourself? No. People may think I'm infringing on their personal liberties. Life has liberty to live. Terminating life just like that is not your business. When life becomes feeble, you don't have to put it on a hook and hang it in the hospital forever, that's a different matter. But you have no right, simply because you don't know how to handle your thought and emotion, You want to destroy… because you don't know how to handle your brains essentially, you don't have to destroy your heart, liver, kidney and spleen. Hello? That's what it means. Because you don't know how to handle one thing here, you cannot destroy everything else here. So, I think in many ways for this generation of people, the coming year could be a lot more inward-looking and spiritually oriented than ever before for this generation of people. Because this generation of people, we as a generation of people, all of us included, in many ways, we have been living more wantonly than anybody else. We have more comforts, more conveniences, more technology, more possibilities, but we are not using that to make our lives fantastic. We are using that to make our lives quite neurotic, many of them psychotic. When we're talking about a mental pandemic, what is it? We were just on the edge and now we're falling off. So, the wisdom of life is, whatever life throws at you, you can make something wonderful out of that also. This is where your intelligence matters. This is the purpose of you being given an intelligence which is beyond the instincts that other animals carry. I heard there are lots of questions, so the question people are harassing me. Sadhguru, I've been waiting for 6 weeks, you have not answered my question. I don't want to cause any harm to themselves, so let's answer some questions.
This question is from Sarah from Leeds. People often use the expression, "you drive me crazy." With misplaced intentions, can a person actually drive another, perhaps more vulnerable person, to madness or self-destruction? If yes, can we make ourselves absolutely immune to such intentions?
Oh. Why, Sarah, is it? Sarah has not met anybody really wonderful who drove her crazy. I'm talking in a positive way. Somebody should drive you crazy, otherwise what's the point of life? Hello? I'm self-propelled. I'm just driving myself crazy all the time. But if you don't know how to drive, somebody at least should drive you. No, that's not the question. The question is about somebody driving you towards insanity, making you really crazy. We are not supposed to use these words, insanity, crazy, but I'm not medically qualified to use the most appropriate words because they have 72 descriptions for various levels of mental degeneration of various sorts. So can somebody push you into a depressive state or a manic state or even… there is a law in India, I don't know how it is here, there is something called as abatement of suicide. You don't have to be physically there. You're sending messages and somebody commits suicide, saying, "These messages are disturbing me, so I'm killing myself." All he had to do is throw the damn phone. But instead, he throws his life away and you will be arrested immediately. Abatement of suicide is a serious crime, up to 10 years in prison. Well, you have to prove that your messages were love messages and they misunderstood. Try convincing a police officer that this is a love message. So, can someone else push you off the brink? Yes, if you are on the edge. See, if you are on the cliff edge, somebody can push you off with a finger. If you're 3 steps away, they need both their hands. If you're 10 steps away, takes 2 people to drag you. If you're far away, no chances of falling off the cliff doesn't arise in your life, isn't it? So the question is, where are you sitting right now? Are you sitting in that aspect of you which I would refer to as the seat of your experience? There is a seat of your experience from where all experience is generated. If you're sitting there in control, nobody ever can drive you crazy. Simply out of question. That's why I do it to myself, you know. But if you get off that seat, then yes, situations and people can push you into very complex and difficult mental situations. Most of the time, when psychological disruptions happened in the past or even today, many people think that they are possessed by some other force or there is black magic. This is a common thing. Hundreds of letters like this coming to me every year. Sadhguru, I am possessed, somebody has done black magic on me. Well, I don't want to completely take away that dimension, but that is a minuscule. Rest is your own psychological thing. When psychological disturbances happen, the nature of it is such that it almost feels like somebody is working from within. Because you never realized how many dimensions are there to your mind. Human mind is a building with 1,000,000 rooms. Every room different kind. You may have created safety and security of your life in such a way that you just live in one room. If you enter the next room, you will be surprised. It doesn't even feel like you. Yes, it doesn't even feel like you. If you enter every room, new room every day, then you will know all the nonsense that you thought that you are just is absolute rubbish because you made up everything for the sake of convenience. Because human mind is not a small possibility. If a building has 1,000,000 rooms, we are trying to build rooms and rooms, it's a lot of work. But if you have a ready-made building with 1,000,000 rooms, is it an advantage or a disadvantage? Hello? It's a tremendous thing. I have a building with 1,000,000 rooms, it's a tremendous thing. But now, if you are unconsciously pushed into new rooms, that is called as psychological problems. Can somebody push you into a new room? Yes, they can. But it depends where you are sitting. If you're sitting firmly in the seat of your experience, where experience is generated, you're in charge of that, then nobody can push you anywhere. Somebody else cannot determine the nature of your experience. The nature of your experience alters itself depending upon how you react to that somebody else. From day one I've been talking to you, your ability to respond, you must take charge of it. If your ability to respond is 100% in your hands, nobody else can determine what happens within you. This does not mean you will become a dry stick. This does not mean there is no excitement in your life. This does not mean there is no love, laughter, joy in your life. No, all this will become just available to you all the time. It's just that you don't need anybody's cooperation for this. This is freedom. Hello? You don't need anybody's cooperation for you to be joyful, for you to be loving, for you to be compassionate, for you to be ecstatic. You don't need anybody's cooperation because human experience is essentially caused from within. This is why I'm saying the coming year, 2021, can be of great significance to this generation of human beings. You know, we built the yoga center here and in India. The idea is people slowly turn inward. Well, many of them are doing wonderfully well, but because for a lifetime they've been trained that unless they mess with somebody, life is not complete. It's a social training. So now, I'm just seeing in some way, your homes, your offices, the world slowly becoming a yoga center. People have to turn inward. I've been saying this, people keep asking me, Sadhguru, should I come and live in the ashram? No, the important thing is you must turn your home into an ashram, not ashram into your home. Your home should become a spiritually rich place, very important. Otherwise, coop up everybody in one place, it'll become like a chicken farm. Hello? Are you looking like frozen chicken right now? Oh. So, I know this is going to infuriate many people because the governments are struggling, businesses are struggling, people are struggling. I want you to know, Isha Foundation also struggling on various levels, but joyfully. That's our choice. Hello? Whether we have to struggle with situations or not is not a choice right now. You have to because you have to transform many things that you have done which have worked well for many years, now you have to turn it upside down. But see, a child, have you seen, maybe you also did, you know, once upon a time, you were also a joyful child, you remember that? Hello? Because I see parents are always happy when their children are serious, focused on some stupid thing. They are not happy if they find the children joyful, hanging upside down in the room, huh? And they don't like the sounds of joy in their home. Most adults, these days, it has been kind of because of so many kinds of gadgets and instruments, people are trying to beat their melancholy with music. Dang, 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 dang. Because all it takes is a machine to produce music now. You don't need any any kind of sense about, you know, weaving sounds together. You can set up a machine, dang, 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 dang. You heard a lot of music like this, all of you listening like that these days? Nothing else, simply dang, 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 dang. So some dang, dang, dang is happening beating, the moods of the people to some extent, and it's plugged in so that others need not suffer that music. Because of that, they're little wobbling like that. But anyway, the neurologists in the world are saying this constantly plugged-in music is causing serious damage to your neurological system. You know this? It's eating up your brains. Well, at least if you feed it to the birds, some life would be nourished. Now, these types of moods, over 22,000 people were surveyed in UK, and they found 65% of the people, in a week's time of their experience, every week, in 1 week, at least one day, for the whole day, they're either irritated or depressed or angry or resentful, at least for one full day in 7 days. Must be a Monday, I think. Or maybe a Saturday, maybe it's at home. Well, probably in United States, if you take the same 22,000 sample, the numbers may not be 65%. I would lower the percentage. The reason is you are not cooped up on an island. Though you are called a turtle island, It's a vast continent, so you have space to freak by yourself. Hello? You have space. But where if you coop them up in one house or in more concentrated population, you will see that how many people are at the edge. So if they are at the edge, somebody comes and does this, you'll fall off. So can somebody drive you crazy? Both ways, positively and negatively, they can. It's a good possibility. But does a human being have a choice of remaining absolutely sane and acting little crazy? Yes, we have. You must exercise that choice to be absolutely sane but act little insane, just for fun. You don't need somebody or a drink or a drug to act insane, because there is somebody here, there is every kind of chemical here, hello? So, self-help is best help, they were saying, at least the previous generation was always saying, self-help is best help.
This question is from Meeta from Baltimore. Namaskaram Sadhguru. My profession includes lots of research on tax laws, which are constantly changing over the years. Most of the time I'm thinking in my sleep, even though I want to keep my brain relaxed. Looks like Kriyas are helping since couple of years. My question is, does all this thinking add up to my karmic baggage?
No, I want to know, in the end, are you paying or not paying? If you are thinking so much about the tax laws, maybe you have found a way not to pay. If you found a way, well, there are so many people who want to know what is that way. Hello? Everybody wants to know. So I'm saying you have a great possibility. If you if something is keeping you up in the night, in the morning you must deliver something, isn't it? Hello? Taxes are taxing, I know that. Well, governments get elected constantly promising change in tax laws. Why can't we make up our mind? What are the taxes for the next at least 25 years, if not 100 years? Next 25 years, this is the taxation. So that, all the consultants will go out of business. It has to change to keep the economy up, to keep you confused. Why can't we just decide, especially in a developed economy, at least for 25 years, this will be the tax laws, this will be the health care. Hello? No, otherwise what is the election issue? How to campaign for the election? Same things over and over again, I'll change the tax, you change the tax. If it's a developing economy, maybe as the development happens, some tax laws have to change, that's understandable. In a developed economy, I don't see why tax laws should be changing all the time and keep you up in the night. The important thing is nobody should understand the laws. That is when so many people will thrive. Anyway, this is about karma, this is not about taxation, okay? But you must understand, karma is a tax. You do certain activity, physical, mental, emotional, energetic activity always happening. How much residue you carry is karma. In a way, if you earn $100 in United States, am I correct? $35 to $40, you have to give it away. Hello? Is it correct? Nearly $40 maybe. So, one way not to pay the tax is don't earn anything, be on social security. I'm saying in karmic terms, a lot of people are trying to do that. Because I don't want to gather karma, I won't do anything. No, that will become your karma. You had $100 and you paid $40, that means you still have 60. If you don't have anything, they give you $5 to go by. That's not a better life. So I don't like to pay taxes, so I won't earn anything, is not really an answer to life. So I don't want any karmic substance, so I will not do anything. But if you don't do anything physically, in so many other ways you will do. See, even in sleep, you're calculating tax, not paying tax, just thinking tax. Paying tax happens only once a year, thinking tax happens the remaining 364 days for many people. There is a beautiful poem or a verse written by Allama Mahaprabhu, I think, among those 3-4 sages who were there. It's talking about… I'm not able to repeat that, it's a Kannada poem. He's talking about how a man who does not want to pay tax for the grain that he is carrying goes roundabout, but there's a little hole in the sack. He's carrying the sack and walking, and he does not take the pathway and he goes roundabout, off-road. But by the time he reaches there, his whole sack is empty. He could have just paid a couple of bushels and gone on, but instead, he went through the rough terrain, and by the time he reached there, the sack is empty. But he was getting happier and happier because the load was getting lighter and lighter. So initially, if you avoid activity, you feel wonderful for a few days. But after some time, you understand you have no access to anything. You have no access to life in so many different ways. So taxes are good only because either willingly or unwillingly you pay the tax. Even in a remote place in Tennessee, the roads are good. Hello? Hello? You came without any problem, otherwise you had to come in a ATV from Nashville or Atlanta, that would be very taxing. If you don't pay the taxes, that's what happens. You will need a ATV to come to this place. So, taxation is another matter, but not very different from karma. That's a good question you asked, because karma is the tax of life. It gathers. Well, how much you gather depends on how you do it. See, the misery of last year's tax, you can carry into this year. Or, because giving $40 out of $100, little painful only. Hello? Yes or no? It is for anybody. But you come to terms with it, all right, the roads are smooth, in case they don't do the roads, you can complain. If they don't deliver some other service, you can complain, you can take action. In that sense, you make up for giving away 40% of what you earn. Anybody giving 40% of your earnings hurts. But you look at the larger perspective, in every given society, there are people who are not as competent as you are, they also need to be served. But we must also ensure that population does not increase. Hello? Tax-paying population should increase. Those who don't earn and don't pay tax and think they are free, when actually the rest of the population is bound by their irresponsible life. Hello? Yes, the rest of the population is paying for you. This came up, this is a huge debate in Isha Foundation at one time, because initially I also seemed to have this problem. When I first started the programs, I was very allergic to collect any fee. So, first 2.5 years, I spent all my savings and taught classes free. After 2.5 years, it got over. Then I said, see, pay for the expenses. We were so puritanical about this. Suppose you pay the fee, on the last day, we'll give accounts. The hall rent is this much, microphone rent is this much, carpets is this much, this much, this much, this much, and this much money is left. This money, we will call an orphanage or an old age home, somebody will come and we will present that, and we have not taken a single rupee. We were that puritanical. So we have come a long way. Not that we become corrupt. We are able to serve millions of people today only because there is an understanding that certain things need to happen in a certain way, not according to your ideology or your ethic, but in terms of practical sense, things need to happen in a certain way. Otherwise, nothing will sustain itself. One way was for me, after my savings ran out, I could have given up and gone back into some business or profession, make money and again come back and teach. Well, that would have taken away 5–10 years of my life. So I'm saying, everything has a tax. You got married, is there a tax or no? That's that guy She's not here, so boldly you remain unmarried. Is there a tax or no? There is. You do this, there is a tax, you do that, there is a tax. The question is, what type of tax are you willing to pay? So karma, if you lie down in your bed and think about your neighbor or your wife or your husband or your children or government or tax or politics or about the cosmos, all of them will extract serious tax because when you sleep, you're supposed to just sleep. Don't think if you're thinking about God, you will get better results in the morning. No. Whether you're thinking about heaven or taxation, anyway in the morning, you will be sleep deprived and miserable. Hello? So it's not only about taxation. Right now your engagement is taxation. I hope you come through a breakthrough. You come to a breakthrough that you will have some kind of a magic solution for all these people who are painfully paying their taxes, that you will come up with a solution how not to pay taxes. A whole lot of people talking about it these in the country. So, if you figure that out, well, you will have a lot of taxes to pay because you will make a lot of money. So at least come up with something, otherwise don't break your head in the night. Will it accumulate karma? Of course. I'm telling you, any unconscious thought that you generate, you will generate karma, because unconsciousness is the basis of karma. It is in your unconsciousness that you have arrived at what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what is up, what is down. This has happened because you're not conscious. You are trying to figure out life with the silly little intellect that you have. I'm saying silly little intellect not because it's not sharp, because it's sharp, I'm saying. Because knife is a cutting instrument. If you try to stitch the pieces of your life together with a knife, you will be in tatters. So tax or no tax, you will be in tatters. Life is taxing, isn't it? Hello? Life can be an exuberant wonder or it can be taxing. So that is karma. If you're feeling the tax of life, well, you're definitely accumulating karma, no question about it. Oh, I think they're all getting frozen out here, but in India they're saying, Sadhguru, little more, Sadhguru, don't close it, don't close it. Is it okay for you? Just a few more minutes. You know, you have to keep the Indians happy because they have to take 2 shots, you know.
This question is from Raisa from Mumbai. Is it possible for one to be inclusive in any moment, regardless of one's karma or energies?
Well, inclusiveness is not an idea. Right now it may be for you. You're trying to be little more inclusive. Inclusiveness is not your idea. This is the way the existence is. You may reject the person who is sitting next to you, but you may be inhaling what they're exhaling. Hello? You are actually. Because the same bubble of air which we call as atmosphere has been around for millions of years, same air. I'm saying all of us are on recirculated air. Thousands of people or trillions of people or countless number of people for thousands and thousands of generations have been breathing the same air. I want you to know even the toad in the pond breathes the same air. Hello? toad, you are breathing his exhalation also. Yes. So, I'm just talking about your breath, but in every way. From your breath, body, food, soil, water, air, to the subatomic particles, every one of them know that life can only be inclusive. Only you, who is got a sanatorium up here, hello? Your mind is a sanatorium because it's exclusive. Now ideas of inclusion are coming, ideas. Once in a way, going back to the first question, when somebody drives you a little crazy in a positive way, then you want to include them. If they drive you a little more crazy, then you want to exclude them. This must have happened to you, isn't it? The same person who drove you crazy in a sweet way, after some time drove you crazy in a very bad way. Happened to you or no? Let me tell you, this happened. A judge, who takes decisions on people's lives, who should live, who should die, who should hang, who should walk, who should go to prison, who should be free, all these judgments. If you're a reasonably sincere human being, you know there are no absolutes about these things. Some struggle will be there within a human being for hanging somebody or imprisoning somebody, Unless you are a total fanatic, you think, yes, he must hang. Otherwise, there is a little struggle as a human being. So to beat this one day, Judge O'Brien got really drunk. And he came home very drunk and he puked all over himself. He was in a mess, but he came and slept. In the morning, the moment he was little more stable, he was very embarrassed and he told his wife, I was coming by train and this guy sitting next to me puked upon me. Then he left for the court. Then he knew what he said to his wife was not convincing enough. So he called her and said, "Can you believe this, Mary? The guy who puked on me yesterday, today came to the court and I gave him 30 days. Then the wife said, "You better make it 60 because he also did shit in your pants." Inclusive, Inclusiveness is not an idea, not even an ideal, or not a philosophy of yours. This is the way life is happening, that is the only way it can happen. If you're in tune with life around you, if you're in tune with this life, if you know how this is happening right now, you will naturally be inclusive. If you're living in your sanatorium, then you will be exclusive. Brahmananda Swarupa Isha Jagadisha Akilananda Swarupa Isha Mahesha Brahmananda Swarupa Akilananda Prarupa Isha Mahesha Brahmananda Swarupa Isha Jagadisha Akilananda Swarupa Isha Mahesha Brahmananda Swarupa Isha Jagadisha Akilananda Swarupa Isha Mahesha Brahmananda Swarupa Isha Jagadisha Akilananda Swarupa Isha